Mom's idea of politics, though. She was telling me about how liquor by the drink, and this was in the 70s?
80s.
The 80s? And what was it?
Oh, yeah, because they did. They used to, you couldn't get a drink, like, say, Applebee's. Or if you went to a club, you had to take your own bottle into a club. And you had to pay them $2 for a Coke for a Coke, and then they would pour the alcohol from the bottle with your name on it. Well, then they decided they were going to have liquor by the drink. And so that all the taxes are going to pay for your schools, for your roads, for all of the upkeep and all of this other stuff. And that's going to be the answer to all your problems. And this is how they're going to save money and do all of this. Well, then a few years later, it wasn't, it's like, where'd that money go? But then a few years later, parimutuel racing, we're going to have horse races, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and it's going to pay for your schools and your roads and all of this other stuff, and it's going to save you money on taxes.
Did it?
It didn't save, not from where I knew. Anyway, so then what happens later on? Lottery. We're going to have the lottery, and it's going to save for your schools. We have money for your schools, your teachers, jobs, roads, all of that
Oklahoma had the teachers had a strike a couple of years back, and Mary Fallon was the governor at that particular time. And after about 2 months of marching, she gave them, the unions kind of sold them out, but she gave them like 3/4 of what they were asking. And then a month later, she actually rescinded the deal, reneged on it. You were saying about the cannabis industry?
Oh, yeah, so then now they got marijuana, CBD. It's like, look what it did for Colorado. They had a surplus. They did this. Now, look, there's a store right there. It's like you can't go in Oklahoma you can't throw a rock without hitting a cannabis store, marijuana store. It's like, let's pass marijuana. You're not going to have to pay any taxes. It's going to take care of the teachers. It's going to take care of the schools. It's like, where in the hell is that money? I don't know. There'll be another one.
Really, how marijuana became legal, because us natives, it was illegal to actually pray our sacred ways until 1978. It was the American Religious Freedom Act. And what spun off of that was Sundance Sweat Lodge, Green Corn Dance, but peyote meetings, and that medicine. So Democrats hitched a ride on our coattails, and they finally figured out how we made it legal. So at some point they said, you know what, marijuana was probably legal. And it's sad, because when people got to go to jail, they call the shit marijuana. Whenever people have to make tax money from it, they call it cannabis. They put blonde hair on it, so go figure.
It's crazy here in Oklahoma because they don't have it really. They just kind of threw out medical cards, but it's way more dangerous because they don't have the amount of THC that you can actually put on all of that. It's insane. It's like it's just marijuana. It's not addictive. All right, I'm fixing to get my weed done here somewhere.